Hello, everybody. Welcome to ReFrame Friday. Hello, Megan. How are you today?
I'm so good. How are you?
I am so good as well.
I love that backdrop.
That one's cool, eh? I like that one.
Sweet.
That was actually your idea to do the whole dandelion spores thing there. So that is the power of collaboration.
I think you called it something different last time. You were like, I don't know if you can say dandelion when we were picking it out.
Oh, really?
Dandelion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we're getting into dandelion season. Do you have any dandelions on your front yard right now?
I'm sure I will. I don't right now because my lawn's still looking pretty sad, but I'm sure they'll come.
Oh, yeah.
I just even looked outside and I'm like, I swear that tree was not as like blossomed as it is today.
Yeah. If you filmed,
they're coming.
Yeah, oh, totally. If you filmed with your phone, even for 10 minutes, you could probably see like an elapsed footage.
Literally.
It's crazy. It's so cool.
So cool.
Yeah, I love that. So yeah, for ReFrame Friday today, we are going to do, I thought, because we had done like a little, so the F up Friday, which is kind of fun to do, but we're going to do this one specifically because we had to do a lot of reframing with our event from last week that we did, the Modern Mom event. We kind of alluded to this on the Monday episode, but just a quick synopsis for those that did not listen to that. So we did this live event, what was going to be a live event on May 14th. It was going to be at the Clareview Rec Center. Running into it, we felt like I had some health concerns, specifically of the COVID variety. So we pulled the plug on it last minute as far as the live event, postponed that. We earmarked it for Sunday or for September, rather. A Sunday in September. There we go. I covered myself. And then what we did is a webinar. So there was a little bit of like juggling, and there's some people that were really interested and excited about coming to see us live in person. Then we had to kind of pull that back and be like, we're doing a webinar. So there was a little bit of like reframing and juggling and so forth. So that's what we're going to focus on here.
Yeah.
And I'll let you take it away, Megan, but just the power of reframing. I guess this may be a little repetitive of Monday, but let's see what we can do with it.
That's okay. We can like take it further, but yeah, I mean,
totally.
I was saying earlier that I just didn't, sorry, it's not. I was saying earlier that it just gets easier with time, right? The more you practice reframing. And so
definitely
in regards to that event, I always look at it as a choice, right? Like, do I want to see this as a blocker or a hiccup, or do I want to see it as a new opportunity? And so from us switching to the Zoom event, like I just saw it as an opportunity to potentially get more people attending because it's easier, right? Mm-hmm. And it was still an opportunity for me to talk about everything that we wanted to discuss, which we had said, we were like really solidly rooted in. I felt really good about it. And so I was still really positive about the whole thing. I was like, hey, we're just going to kind of take this direction and go with it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I 100% on everything you said. Even coming out of it, it's like, okay, so for me, it's all about like intention. So intention beforehand for this live event and expectation, managing your expectations. So our expectations weren't about, okay, it's got to be 20 people and they all have to be engaged about it. It wasn't that. Our expectation and our intention was, our expectation was to learn, was to gather some experiential learning and confidence from renting the room, figuring out. So there was a lot of it right from the get-go, because you don't know until you know, right? So even renting the room at Clareview Rec Center, there was some things that we didn't know. There's as far as like the postering, being able to put up posters, just lots, right? There's a little bit, and it makes sense. It's through the city and it's a big thing. So they do have their process. It isn't quite as easy as I thought. There's a lot of email back and forth. There was a lot of, and that's fine. So that was all part of the learning. That was step one. Step two was, okay, our people are going to respond to the posters. Are we going to? So I did some Facebook ads. We got some interaction through that way. Then you're gaining some folks through that. And then the second or the third set of learning is like, okay, now we're going to change the event. We have to call an audible. What's the best way we can make this work? We did that with the webinar, which we do already have a previous experience of. Send out all the invites. And honestly, coming out of it now, I feel stronger in a lot of different ways than I think I would have had we just done the live show. But what I mean by that is like, now we have this piece of content that lives forever online that is getting the word out and is slowly, each day getting more and more views, right?
Yeah.
And it's on our podcast, and this can be like a real foundational piece of what we're going to expand upon. So out of this little idea of like, let's just get some public speaking legs, let's do a live thing, let's get ourselves out of our comfort zone. That was the initial intent, just grew. And kudos to both of us. I think we allowed it to get to that area, and constantly tweaking and reframing as we went. And as a result, it's I think a big success.
Oh, for sure. And like how I sort of chalked it up to myself was that I didn't like have any expectations around it, not because I was like having low projections for it or anything like that, but it was more so because I just kept telling myself like, I'm just going to keep showing up. So whether that means I show up in person or I show up on Zoom, or now I'm going to show up and do it live, like I'm going to show up in the same like authentic way, whether I'm talking to like one person or you or 100 people, like I'm going to keep showing up with that same energy of believing in the content that I'm offering, you know, believing in what we're delivering as a team. And
Totally.
I just felt super good about it.
Yeah, no, that's excellent. The only thing I could add to that is there is quite a few stories that I've heard on various podcasts and audiobooks of exactly that, like where somebody will have say 2-3 people show up. And I think it's like, I want to say it's Tom Bilyeu, somebody like that's really high up. And he's like, his wife came home and they're so used to having these like pretty big events, right? And she was crying. And he initially thought because there was only 3 people that showed up, but in fact, quite the opposite. There was one lady that it resonated so powerfully with, and it opened this huge other door for like this other, you know, relationship with whatever group she was associated in. And then all of a sudden, so from that, just affecting that one person, opened this massive door for like all this other association with this group of people, right? So it's the power of one. I even had another conversation with a gentleman that's in the Enlifted community that literally just had an off the beaten path conversation. This lady was doing an ice bath and he went up and started doing some of like the language work with her. And she ended up being the owner of like a recovery house. And then he got in on that and he's gotten like 1,000 calls, one-on-one calls with these people. He's like, talk about getting your reps in, just out of that one, just conversation, right? So you never know who's going to watch. You never know who's listening. And we always talk about the power of one. Even if we affect one person positively, that's a huge win.
Oh, totally. And I think, you know, it really speaks to when you're doing something that you're passionate about and aligns with your values, right? Because, you know, in my job, like I can sometimes see between like 10 and 15 people a day. And not every interaction is positive. I mean, sometimes they're all positive, but not every interaction is positive. But when I get in my car at the end of the day, I don't even think about the negative ones. I'm like replaying those really positive ones in my mind.
Yeah.
Man, that was such a good conversation. And like, they really took something. And I'm like hyped up and almost proud and like excited to see where they go and excited to see, you know, that they've like rebooked and they're going to come back and I can check in on their progress. And so, yeah, I mean, I think we continually kind of reframe it for ourselves or just kind of check ourselves in terms of like the reason behind why we're doing this.
Yeah, no, and that's a perfect way to end it off. Yeah, that's the mic drop moment. That's great. No, for sure. I love it. Love it. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Any final words of
It's awesome.
wisdom or anything else? Excellent. Awesome. Well, I enjoyed this and hopefully we got some new listeners out of the Modern Mom event because we did a little shameless promotion of this podcast and the YouTube channel and all that. So I'm really hoping that get some new listeners out of this. And if so, welcome. And we do this seemingly every second week or somewhere along those lines. So thanks for coming on this week-long journey that we do here. And yeah, by all means, reach out to us, MeganMcLarenCoaching.com, as well as Megan McLaren Coaching on Facebook. And I think same thing with Instagram, right?
Megan McLaren Coach
on Instagram. Okay, perfect. And then I'm at recoveryroadmap.me on Instagram and Matt Gardner Live on Facebook. So thanks everybody. And we'll see you in either a week or a couple weeks. We'll see you soon.